Hello there, we have been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh yeah, this behemoth is celebrated the world over as one of the greatest animated series of all time. Even if you don't know what it is, you've heard the name Attack on Titan. What a name. Concise, compelling, and confusing. If you think about it, Attack on Titan makes it sound like... Because isn't Titan like a planet? Or a moon? You mean the rebels didn't learn their lesson after Endor?
You rebel scum.
Imagine my surprise to find that it's not science fiction at all. What's this? We're not in space. Why are those nudists gleefully chasing tiny humans and gobbling them up like pork dumplings at a delicious Chinese buffet? If you're watching this video, I'm willing to bet that you know enough about Attack on Titan that to explain it to you all over again would be a gigantic waste of time. As is to be expected from international phenomena like this one, a slew of products would be created in order to capitalize on this popular anime title's immense success, including, you guessed it, video games. One such title is going to be the focus of today's discussion. And normally I wouldn't have enough faith in a game like this to actually buy it, but seeing as I now own this game for some reason, I played it for a while. And if you're familiar with what we do here on the show, it's not really a good sign that this video exists. On the bench today is Attack on Titan 2, a game with immense potential that falls flat on its face. This is Upgrading Gaming. Let's get to work. Some of you probably like this game a lot, and I just want you to know, that's fine. You are entitled to your opinion, and you're allowed to be wrong. Don't misunderstand me, I've had a lot of fun playing this game, just not right away. To show you exactly what I mean by that, I'm gonna walk you through the first hour of gameplay as briefly as possible, and call it exactly as I see it. As a disclaimer, this is a game based on the anime, obviously. If you have not seen the anime, I'm not going to try and spoil it for you, but I make no promises. Before we start, here's a completely necessary reminder brought to you by the game developers. It's easier to progress through the game when you play at the easy difficulty level.
What, are you sure about that?
Also in the news today, it turns out ice fishing is easier in the winter. If you've seen the anime before, you may recognize this opening cutscene as the power of Zeus strikes the earth and appears to have conjured a huge naked woman. Some of the Titans in this show have cool names. This one's called the Female Titan. Brilliant! Immediately there's a sense of urgency and a lot of tension, as apparently it's become your responsibility to chase her down. Whoever you are. So the game immediately drops you in and goes press square to be Spider-Man. So you press square and you go, hey look, I'm Spider-Man. Okay, so far so good. I'm dropped into the heart of an action scene. I haven't been stopped dead by a wall of text explaining what the square button does, and there's a lot of helpful dialogue from the NPCs reminding me what I'm supposed to be doing in case I have short-term memory loss. There's no way they're gonna screw this up. Once you catch up to Anonymous, she's got herself caught in a rat trap, and the NPCs from before start saying, get her, fight ahead! If you played video games before, this feels like a great time to teach you how to fight Titans, which is real convenient because this is a game about fighting Titans. So you check in with the button prompt in the corner of your screen expecting it to teach you how to fight Titans. And it doesn't. Am I missing something here? This game started by dropping me right into the action, giving me very little direction and the freedom to figure it out by experimenting with buttons. And now that there are buttons that I desperately want to learn, out comes the rug from underneath me while I hopelessly mash buttons trying to figure out this game's core mechanic, and it doesn't even matter because before I've even started to figure it out, the plot develops without me anyways! Just because I was curious, I played through it a second time to see if doing nothing would be equally effective. And yeah, doing nothing is equally as effective. Apparently, participation is optional in this game. You'll find out why this is so frustrating later on when they actually do teach you the combat controls, but I shit you not, it's gonna take a half an hour to get there. Oh, but it gets better, and by better I mean worse, because I've only had control for a couple of minutes, and it's bad enough that this tutorial sequence is apparently not even designed to teach you anything, but you'll be happy to know that we're headed for 10 minutes of cutscenes right after this. But don't get me wrong, this is very important exposition, and it sets up the whole story of Attack on Titan, and I'm sure it looks familiar because they stole these cutscenes directly from the anime, in case you hadn't noticed. Hey guys, look, I realize this game only got made because the anime is popular and you've got dollar signs for eyes, but what makes you think that copy-pasting scenes directly from the anime is your best vehicle for exposition in an action hack and slash? I don't mind plot in video games, but this is completely unreasonable. I'm willing to bet almost 100% of your demographic has already seen these cutscenes because they've seen the anime before, and as hard as that may be to understand, it's probably the only reason they bought this game. I mean, who can forget this iconic scene where the kids escape Shig and Sheena and Eren Yeager vows to commit fratricide? Although, I seem to remember there being at least one or two more people on this boat than what I can see here. Who organized this evacuation? The United States government? A lot of these cutscenes are original and feature the protagonist in first-person perspective, which is charming, but technically meaningless. I can tell you're trying to be immersive and emotionally invest me in the story, but as it's presented, all it makes me feel for these characters is sorry. Sympathy is cheap. If you want empathy, you should let me fight some Titans. Stupid. As if all that wasn't already pretty bad. We're 12 minutes deep in this game, and now, I guess, is the appropriate time to put us through character creation. I'm so excited! Now, character creators are a bit of a contentious subject because technically I don't have to waste my time if I don't want to. So I'm not going to get into it right now. I'd rather save that for another video. What I will say is that Drill Sergeant Dickhead here has some very unsatisfactory social distancing etiquette. And what's this guy's deal anyway? He looks like he hasn't slept in years and his forehead literally looks like the staircase to Jotunheim at the end of God of War. At least a slow fade here means the cutscenes are over. Are you fucking kidding me? Why would you put a slow fade transition here just to fade back into the same fucking shot? Did you blow your entire animation budget? You telling me you couldn't afford the resources to make Head Instructor Keith turn 90 degrees to the left? Oh, thank fuck. After all that, I'm ready to get my swing on. Really? What happened? Why are you teaching me this square button again? And why are you slapping me in the face with these stupid fucking dead stop tutorial prompts? I thought we understood each other. Surely you realize repeating the movement tutorial here is completely unnecessary, because if it wasn't, I would have never made it past the first section. You programmed her to wait for me if I stayed behind. You're just lucky I'm in a good mood because I'm having so much fun swinging around in this game, but you know as well as I do, you don't get credit for that. You heard the man. Click the button before Cue Ball pops a blood vessel. Now it's time to learn to fight Titans. Okay, wait, is it though? Okay, yeah, it definitely is. I just had to make sure. This is kind of a tangent to my original point, but I want to talk about these controls for a minute. The Attack on Titan omnidirectional maneuverability gear has two uses: swing movement and the hook shot for combat. And they've assigned these two functionally similar mechanics to two different buttons, which would be fine if only one of them wasn't also your melee attack. It makes sense on paper, but that's exactly why I know these developers never playtested the controls themselves, because in practice it's completely fucking insane. Movement is the dominant function of this gear, and launching the hook shot at the Titan feels fundamentally no different than launching it at a building. So it's already easy to confuse the two hookshot buttons. Your gamer brain wants to assign one button to each function, and because now you've got one button that does two different things, there's no muscle memory here. Inevitably, even after you've been playing for a while, you'll hit the wrong button and instantly launch yourself away from the Titan instead of hooking into it like you wanted to, which is far too easy to do in a game where spatial positioning is so important. You already use the right trigger button for targeting and to initiate combat, so why isn't anchoring the Titan just a combination of right trigger and square? Then you can use the triangle button for your melee attack and nothing else. And I'd say that's a problem well solved. The moral of the story is, if you're gonna steal game mechanics from Spider-Man, you might as well steal the controls too. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's the end of my tangent. After you played for a while, now it's time to make friends. No, seriously, friendship is a mechanic in this game. You can build friendship by saying the right things when conversing and doing other things to please the person in question. Yeah, I have a question. Do these instructions work in real life too? I'm just asking for a friend that I definitely have. Actually, that does sound like a good idea. Improving your friendship with the other characters will actually reward you with perks you can use in combat, which is kind of a nice incentive for an objectively boring and tedious game mechanic. I mean, look at all these people. Am I supposed to make friends with everyone? This game is giving me Fable 3 vibes in a very bad way. Want to skip it? Yes, all of it. The whole review even. It's taken me 3 years to finish this video because it's been so hard to put into words the level of disappointment I'm experiencing. This is supposed to be a game where you swing the swords and zip zaps and kill the big giants. This game is playing like a dating sim and not in a good way. Okay, can my new friends and I please start attacking some Titans now? More practice dummies? What are we even doing here? No, I get it. You've added a layer of difficulty by making it necessary to micromanage supplies. I understand that. What I don't understand is why it's taken 45 minutes to get to this point and I still haven't swung a sword at a single live Titan. Why does this game waste so much time teaching me to fight mannequins? I understand that these wooden Titan stand-ins exist in the anime and are used to train new recruits, but have you ever stopped to think about why? Now look, I can appreciate all the work these developers have done to try and make this an authentic anime experience for the player. I really can't. The way they've painstakingly recreated iconic scenes from the anime in this game's engine is nothing short of beautiful. But the logic of these practice dummies that applies to the anime simply does not apply to the video game. In the anime, they set a very clear divide between puny, pathetic human people and these massive, devastatingly strong Titans. Yeah, all these friends you've been training with, make sure you get to know them real well, because most of them are gonna die. Very badly. Video game characters, by contrast, are indestructible. You can die as many times as you have to, you just have to start over at the nearest checkpoint. You see what I'm saying? There is no reason you are wasting this much time making me fight against an enemy that will not fight back or even try to defend itself. Even in the anime where it makes sense to use them, you only see maybe 4 of these practice dummies in the entire series, and I've seen more than 50 of them in the first hour of this game. There are ways you could have done this with real Titans. These practice dummies are a great reference to the anime, but they should have been an optionally accessible training training mode that you can choose to use if you're struggling with these asinine controls. There's no tension here. And I know there's a timer, but that doesn't count because if time runs out before you destroyed everything, guess what? Mission accomplished. So where's the tension? I realize you're probably trying to preserve the integrity of the anime, but could I really not have ranked? I am the player character after all. What's the problem? Did I not play well enough to be voted most likely to survive season 1? There is good news. As soon as you start fighting real titans, this game becomes 1,000% more playable. If you only didn't have to sit through an hour of boredom to get here, I'd probably be off playing this game instead of whining about it on the internet. All they had to do was put every bit of tutorial into one isolated mission where real titans invaded the wall. Shiganshina or Trost, it really doesn't matter. Quit breaking up the action with dead-stopping walls of text and keep the exposition dump to a comfortable minimum, because I don't care how diehard of Attack on Titan fan you are. There is no way you are comfortable playing a game that's trying so hard just to be the anime that it stops being a game and turns into one big interactive cutscene. It's clear to me that at the very least, these developers understand their source material. I'll give them that. That was of course the point, to make a game that was essentially a playable version of the anime, and in that way they succeeded, maybe a little too well. What do you think? Do you think this game is fine the way it is, or is there more than just a little wasted potential here? You can let me know in the comments section. In the meantime, man, I'm done with practice dummies. It's time to avenge humanity for real. Let's kill some titans, man!